This is for the beginning Leopard challenge for January 2021. We're going to heat up our mandrel. I love making hearts. I make them in all kinds of shapes, styles, puffy. But today we're just going to make a simple heart. It's just going to be 2 beads. No, you know what? Actually, this one is going to be an oval bead. And we're going to cut into the top. So first, we're going to make a barrel shape. This is a fun color. This is, I believe, 420, a Fetre 420. I'm not sure what the color is. Maybe Sedona, but it looks like rock when it's done. It is beautiful. And I love for my hearts to look like rocks because it kind of defies the whole gravity of hearts being soft and squishy. Instead, it's just kind of hard and edgy. So I make a pretty good size barrel. Use my marver to even it out. You'll see that in a minute. I think my mandrel is kind of bent. And we're going to smush this barrel, and that's going to give us an oval shape. So we're just kind of shaping it into an oval. Yeah, this mandrel is pretty bent. Making it kind of a, and maybe it's more of a olive-y shape. I think I'm kind of hungry for olives today. That's all I can talk about is olives. We'll just keep working on its shape. I'm going to switch hands because I'm going to use my mashers. And I always heat my mashers up so they're not shocky cold to the glass. And I want to get that not molten, but I do want it glowing. Then I'm looking to see what's going to be my best. Okay, so there we go. We've got I'm thinking I'm going to do, this part's going to be the pointed part, and up here will be where I'm just going to use my scissors and cut in. And then I'm going to use my razor tool, cut in, kind of push it to the side. And I'm going to use gravity to give it its nice little bumps. Yeah, I'm happy with that shape. So then I'm going to use the actual rod, and I'm going to heat up the bottom. I really don't want to get the top, just mostly this bottom area. Get that nice and heated up. Then I'm just going to touch it. We're going to pull it down. And I'll probably make it more pointy. These are so much fun to do. So this is going to have leopard print on it. Now, we made silver stringer in our last video, and so with our silver stringer, we're just going to do some dots. Just a dot here, and they're kind of a comma dot. It's a leopard's print is just, very organic. And we're going to melt it in. I like to use gravity for a lot of my work. We're melting it in. And stringer work is really finding that soft spot, or sweet spot, I'm sorry, in your glass. So the sweet part is the edge, right in about here. And so we heat up our bead, and then we run our stringer just right along. That soft spot. You can see I'm not in the flame. I don't come up to the flame until I'm ready to cut it. I'm right at that edge. And all I'm doing on this is just wrapping black on each side. And you don't want to get it too hot. If it gets too hot, then the base of your bead, the actual heart, is going to just form on you, and that's not what you want. So I go out, and then I'm right at that edge. Not in the flame. I'll kind of tap that one on, because I'm going to melt this in also. Right at that edge. Right at the edge. And I'm a little bit under the flame to the edge. Right at that edge. Alright, I'm pretty sure I have all of those on. So we're going to melt that in. We want it all melted. Keeping the shape of our heart. And sometimes I'll come back in with my press, my mashers, and give it a little gentle mash. And I am going to bring that point down a little more. So you kind of want it to cool a little bit so that it actually stretches the glass and it's not just stretching that bottom. Just pinch that off. I think that's pretty good. Actually, I'm not perfectly happy with that, so I'm going to get that bottom hot. I'm going to come and jiggle it up, jiggle it, and then pull that down. Heat it up. I'm pulling. I don't know if you could tell that from the video. I want that to be more pointy. There we go. Give it a little bit of insurance heat. And I don't know how well you can see that. We're going to get it in the kiln and I'll come back and I'll make one in red. Oops. I'm going to make it in red because you'll be able to see it better. We're going to do the same thing. I don't know what's up with my mandrels today, but this one's kind of bent too. This red is just a Fetre. I believe it's 432. It's a pretty bright red. Just putting the red on there. I'm trying to make this one a little bit longer. So it's, and this is a pretty thin rod. Most of my rods aren't this thin. For some reason this batch of red was a little thin. Getting that glass on there because we're going to come back and do some shaping. But I want it pretty thick on there. I'm going to use my marver to get it into an oval shape. You know, glass wants to ball up in that middle. It wants to go to the middle always. We're not going to let it. We want it to go where we want it to go. So it's almost a bicone shape, actually, is what we're aiming for. And I don't think I got it any bigger than what the other one was. And I'm just lightly tapping it to get it into the shape I want. And I'm not even really tapping, I'm more rolling it. So we're gonna get it heated up again, where it keeps its shape. And then we're gonna flatten it out. I think that's a better shape. And I'm gonna flatten it just a little more because we're gonna have it in this flame for a while, making our leopard on it. So let's cut that. And I cut it just because it's easier for me to guess the middle than just poking it straight in with my razor tool. And when I push it down, I just push my razor tool back and forth. Okay. Now it's pretty pointy, you can see. It almost looks like lips. And I've made lips this way also. But the more that we heat it up, it's gonna go ahead and round out for us. Heating that bottom. And really you want the heat aimed more at that middle and not the end, because all we're doing is pulling a stringer at this point when it's like that. And that's not what I wanted to do. I want it to be pretty hard. So for right now, I'm going to leave it like that because I'm going to put, oh, we need the silvered ivory. I'm going to put my leopard print. So we're just doing, and I'm staying on the edge of that flame, coming in. You want to make sure your base is warm enough to accept that glass. You can see I'm just doing comma shapes. The other trick is you want to keep the back heated up as well. Good rule of thumb is 3 swipes, heat the back. You don't want this bead cracking on you. And I forget about doing that. It's a hard habit to get into. Get that melted in and let your gravity work for you. Shape this side a little. Okay, now we'll work on the black. So when we do the monogram bead. It's very similar to this. I'm going to turn my flame down just a bit. And we're going to come and put commas on the outside. Staying at the edge of our flame. See, I'm right up under and at that edge. And we're going to come over and on the back side, we're going to do some on the back side. Okay. Move back over to the front. Back to the back. Put one right there. And I'm out of the flame, lift it up. And what I've done is I've heated that base enough that it can accept the stringer. And so that stringer, I don't know if you can see in the video, is actually below and to the side of the flame. I'm right underneath it, and then I pull it up to cut it. Alright, so we've got those common in. We want to melt it in. Getting a little more glowy than what I like it to get, but it's not losing its shape. So I'm happy about that. And I'm pretty happy with that little heart shape. I think that's pretty cute. It's a little puffy, if you can see. So I like that. But I really would like the black to melt in. I think that gives it more of a fur look. A little. We're still pretty good with our shape. And I'm going to heat try to heat just that middle. I don't want to get the bottom. Let's get as much heat in the middle. And then we want to attach that . And there's a little bit of pressure. I don't know if you can see that in the video. Break that off. Use my tweezers to pull a better point. Yeah, that's cute. And here is the red heart, but you can't really tell because of the red needs to cool down a little. But I think this is going to be a fun little heart. We're going to put it in the kiln, and I'll see y'all in the next video.